let's break down the post-credit scene. Unfortunately, it's spoiled the day of the premiere. The Wrap put out the spoiler, the scoop as they called it, that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, they didn't, I didn't read the article. I just saw the headline. I'm like, God damn it. I figured that he was going to come back inevitably. The whole Vin Diesel versus The Rock, like outside of acting, they had beef and this, that. Like, I'm like, first off, The Rock comes from wrestling. This is a wrestling move that I've seen 1,000 times. The heel versus the hero, got beef, setting up for WrestleMania. So like that, and who knows if there was any validity to the whole them having beef off screen. There might be some truth in that, but I figured it was all a setup to gear for him to inevitably come back to the franchise. Now, of course, I know the other spin of it all is The Rock's name might not be looking the best after Black Adam, which sure, whatever. It was a huge L, but it's like, this is The Rock. This guy is one of the biggest movie stars in Hollywood. He's gonna be fine. So I don't think he's running back on Vin Diesel's door saying, Vin, come on, man, let me back in the family. I doubt that happened. I think this was set up for a while. Kind of built that anticipation. Let's talk about the scene. Have this kind of black ops team on a mission. Everyone's in masks. They're in this building, let's just say a building, and we have a phone and there's a video playing, and the phone is picked up by a mysterious person at the moment, and he or she, let's say, we know who it is in a minute. They answer the phone and it's Dante. Now, my question is, when does this scene take place? Are we assuming that Dante is calling him as he's pressing the button on Dom, or is the whole thing in Fast 11, he presses it, they're drowning, he assumes they're dead, and now he's moving on to his next, which is reveal, as he said on the phone, Dom was the one that hit the vehicle, that hit my dad with a car. He didn't do the final blow. They cut back one more time, the scene on the bridge when we see Dante's father dies, and we know from Fast 5, one of the best in the franchise, it was Hobbs that shot him. So I love that they kind of, again, this one makes me think that this was planned out, that this was thought of. This wasn't like, again, a fourth quarter, The Rock knocking on the door saying, let me back in. I think this was planned out. Some might disagree with me, especially if you know some of the rumors of the test screening in the post-credit scene, that this might have been shot more recently than we would imagine. But let's speculate about that in the comments. But in the scene, Thompson shot his dad and he says, I'm coming for you next. And he took off his mask and he has like a gray beard. He's been through it all. So he does his, classic, I'm going to get you, you some bitch. I'm going to hunt you down. Listen, man, regardless of what you feel about The Rock, that's my guy. I grew up a wrestling fan. He's my favorite wrestler, best entertainer of all time when it comes to wrestling, in my opinion. Love that man. Love him as an action star. Love him as the character Hobbs. So I knew inevitably he was coming back. And I knew the spoiler, but it still played well, right? I love the scene. I love that he's back. But then this goes back to my question, talked about with Deckard Shaw, when he knew that his mom was under attack. Is this Hobbs saving his daughter, saving his family, going to be Fast 11 plot, or will it be Hobbs and Shaw 2 plot? Let me know. It could be a mixture of the both, but one would assume it's going to be a plot that is going to be carried on to Fast 11. Let's pivot over and let me know your thoughts on everything we discussed in this post-credit scene as well as the ending. But let's pivot over to another discussion, and that is what next with this franchise. We all know this is a part 1 of a part 2 of a potentially part 3. Vin Diesel, red carpet last week at the premiere. Studio came to him. We love part 1. We're excited for part 2. Vinny, please give us a part 3. We'll see. Box office will dictate if we get a part 3 of this finale, and then it'll be a part 4 and a 5. We'll see. But assuming that we're just talking about the next film. So as it lays right now, 2025 is the release date. Might be pending WGA writing. Here's my thing as far as it would have been, again, putting aside that they didn't shoot 10 and 11 back-to-back, the vacancy in 2024. There is again, I mentioned Infinity War and Endgame, 1 year layover. Across the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider, or Beyond the Spider-Verse, 1 year over. Mission Impossible 7, Dead Reckoning, into, Dead Reckoning. I don't know what the subtitle is for part 2, but it's 1 year after. It's a 2-year gap between part 10 and part 11. There should be, I'm not saying you do have to, because Dune came out in 2021 and part 2's come out in 2023, 2 years later. You can make it happen. It's not impossible to get a part 2 2 years later, but I feel like they should squeeze something into next year. Obviously, it's impossible. Well, I don't say impossible, but with the WGA strike, it's going to be hard to make a movie, shoot a movie right now. And this is just the fan in me, and this is just, it would have been the business decision. I know Rock had a million things to do, but Hobbs and Shaw was pretty successful. if I was The Rock, I know he's making a movie as like Santa Claus. I know he made Black Adam. I know he's probably got 19 million different projects that he's doing, working on Netflix, Red Notice Part 2. Why wasn't Hobbs and Shaw 2 a top priority? This movie almost damn near made $800 million. It made more than like Fast 6 and I think Fast 7, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not Fast 7, because I think that made $1 billion. But I think it made more than Fast 6. Either way, it was very profitable, right? It was very profitable for the studio and profitable for The Rock and Jason Statham. Why wasn't the sequel like top priority? Because to me, again, hindsight 2020, you have part 1 of Fast 10 come out, Hobbs and Shaw 2, which could have played into Deckard saving his mom, Hobbs saving his daughter. They need both of them to help save their families and then tie that into Fast 11. That would have been a great kind of, I don't want to say filler because it's its own movie, but it ties all together to this universe they created. So again, I don't think anything's been announced that there's going to be anything Fast related come 2024. And then, of course, we know we're going to have 2025. Well, assuming that everything will work out with the writer's strike, 2025, it will come out probably around the same time, May or the summer of that year. So that is the Hobbs and Shaw of it all. Let me know what you all think about that. But as far as Fast 11, it's safe to assume that the cliffhanger, Dom, Little B, will probably be saved by the dead crew coming in to save them. And then we're going to see the team very a la Infinity War, Endgame, all come together. I'm talking Brian coming back, Giselle's now back, Hobbs is back. It's from previous Fast films, Sean from Tokyo Drift, who appeared in Fast 9, like all the characters that are alive or dead who will be coming together to take on Dante, Ames, and I'm pretty confident that there is another big bad out there, and more so from the spinoff of Hobbs and Shaw, that there was a bigger bad, that Idris Elba had someone that he was below, which I've always thought was going to be like Keanu Reeves. David Lynch being the director of that film, and also David Lynch having a good relationship with Keanu Reeves. So I always imagine that the big bad doing all the cyber stuff, someone that, you know, Cypher worked for, Dante knows about, Ames knows about, and he's like been controlling all this stuff the whole time. The real big Thanos of it all is like a Keanu. I'm saying Keanu Reeves, that's who I want to be the villain, but I think there will be another bigger villain that's going to be set up for Hobbs and Shaw 2 and Fast 11 into potentially now sounds like Fast 12. So that's what I'm thinking. And we already lost Jacob. We think we lost the other crew, but I think ultimately at the end of the day, Dominic Toretto is going to end up dying. We're going to probably see that. If they do make a 12, not an 11, probably a 12, but if 11 is the last one, Dom will probably die. But quarter mile at a time, y'all. This was so much fun. Thank you for listening to me for however long this video ends up being after the final edit. But overall, again, I personally enjoyed Fast 10. It was a huge improvement for Fast 9. Again, I'm going to have a video ranking the individual films, but let's just give you a preview here. It falls in line with me with like Fast 7 and 6, kind of in that range. And again, I'll have a short video going over my ranking, so keep an eye out for that. So with that being said, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed yourself like I did, consider hitting the like button, sharing today's video, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel where we do other spoiler discussions, live streams. We do movie reviews very daily. We do short form content, long form content, after shows, and all that fun stuff. So consider subscribing to the channel. You all have been awesome. Make sure that if you are driving a car, you're not driving crazy like these characters, and you all be safe out there. I appreciate you. As you can see on the screen now, come and join the community. Check out my non-spoiler review for this film. Check out my other reviews for this year thus far, and we'll catch you all on the next video.